Americans, we must also solve our jobs and economic crisis because we have a tremendous jobs crisis. So many of our jobs have gone to Mexico, have gone to places like China indirectly because they make our product. We used to make our product. We don't make things anymore, relatively speaking. At the center of our economic revival, we'll be fixing our terrible trade deals. 47 million Americans are in poverty, and 45 million Americans are on food stamps right now. 70 million American women and children live in poverty or on the brink of poverty. This is the United States we're talking about. We have nearly $800 billion as an annual trade deficit in goods with the world, and the worst so-called recovery by far since the Great Depression. This is the legacy of Obama Clinton. And by the way, when Hillary Clinton ran for the Senate in New York, she was going to produce 200,000 jobs in upstate New York, which is a disaster area. After she got elected, it was bye-bye. That's the end of upstate New York. It's a disaster to this day. She didn't produce then, and she won't produce now. When I'm president, everything will change. The word change is an important word, isn't it? We need change. Can you imagine 4 more years of Obama? Oh. And he shouldn't be campaigning. All this guy does is campaign. He campaigns. His wife campaigns. You know what? We need jobs. We need lower taxes. We need a protected Second Amendment, which they don't want to do. We will move people from the welfare rolls to the employment rolls with great jobs and high-paying jobs. We will end our chronic trade deficits, which are massive and getting bigger. We will start growing again. We'll rebuild our roads, bridges, tunnels, railways, hospitals, schools, and airports. The state of Maine has lost nearly 1 in 3 manufacturing jobs since NAFTA, signed by Bill Clinton and supported by crooked Hillary. Since China entered the World Trade Organization, another Bill Clinton disaster, also backed by Hillary, 70,000, and I thought this was a typographical error. I said, it can't be 70,000. We went back, it's 70,000. I thought 7,700, must be a mistake. 70,000 factories have shut down or left the United States. You know. That's 15 factories closing a day on average. Can you believe it? 15 a day in the country. We're living through the greatest jobs theft in the history of the world. What's happened to our country is the greatest jobs theft in the history of the world. There's never been a thing like happened to our country. And I will stop it. If I win, day one, we're going to announce our plans to totally renegotiate the disaster known as NAFTA. If we don't get the deal we want, we'll leave NAFTA and start over again and make much better trade deals. I like trade, I'm for free trade, but it has to also be fair trade. But I'm for trade where things benefit our country, where jobs come back to our country also. We want a 2-way highway, not a 1-way. Right now we have a 1-way highway right into Mexico. We get unemployment and we get drugs. They get cash, they get jobs, and they get factories. Not going to be that way anymore, folks. We're going to start making things again in America. As part of our plan to bring back our jobs, we're going to lower our business tax from 35% to 15%, which is almost getting to be the record low. And by the way, 35%, major countries, 35%, the highest anywhere in the world. We will lower taxes massively on all Americans. Hillary will raise taxes and raise your taxes by a lot. That's what she plans to do. Just take a look. Our biggest reductions will be for the working and middle class. This includes letting parents deduct the cost of childcare. Reagan's tax cuts in the 80s and Kennedy's tax cuts in the 60s brought us tremendous growth. My economic reforms on taxes, trade, regulation, and American energy will produce at least 25 million jobs over the next decade. It's the most pro-growth economic plan in American history, and it's gotten some wonderful reviews. We're also going to protect the right of people and the people of Maine to use their own land. You know what we're talking about. President Obama, with the support of politicians like Hillary Clinton, issued an executive order 2 months ago making over 87,000 acres in Maine into a new national monument. That's a lot of acres, I'll tell you. No consideration was made for local concerns, impacts on jobs, or the Maine forestry sector, which is such an important, it's just like so important for you. And nobody even thought of it. Nobody even thought, they don't care about you. No approval by Congress. Your state legislature totally opposed it. It's just another federal outreach that's going to do much more harm, much more harm than it is good. And it's made a lot of people in Maine very angry because the people of Maine have great common sense. Give me a break. What are they doing? Obama and Clinton don't care that this area badly needs jobs and growth, and that this decision, done at the stroke of a pen without the support of the local community, undermines the people that live and work right here in Maine. That's a bad, bad bill. But we're going to turn it all around. Believe me. America's comeback begins on November 8th. We're going to have a big, big comeback. Here are some of the amazing things we're going to do for our country starting in 2017. We're going to have the biggest tax cut since Ronald Reagan. We're going to eliminate all of that horrible, job-killing, unnecessary regulation. We are going to defend religious liberty, which is under siege. We're also going to get rid of the Johnson Amendment. You know what that is. We're going to reduce the cost of college tuition. Big league. We're going to provide school choice to every low-income child in America. School choice. And by the way, we're going to get rid of Common Core. We're bringing our education local. We're going to rebuild our depleted military. Our great, great people have equipment that's ancient. And we are going to take care of, finally, take care of properly our incredible veterans. We are going to support the men and women of law enforcement. Great people. We will, I am so looking forward to this, repeal and replace Obamacare. Save the Second Amendment. The National Rifle Association endorsed Donald Trump, the earliest endorsement NRA they've ever given to a presidential candidate. We're going to save your Second Amendment. We are going to appoint justices to the United States Supreme Court who will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. You have 24 days to make every dream you ever dreamed for your country, for your children, for your family come true. On November 8th, the arrogance of Washington, D.C. will come face to face with the righteous verdict of the American voter, which is you. I am going to be fighting for the inner cities, for the African Americans, for the Hispanic Americans. We're going to turn around our inner cities. I'm going to be fighting for people from every background at every stretch of this nation. I'm going to fight for every child living in poverty. I'm going to fight for every mom who lost her child to illegal immigration and drugs and gang violence. I'm going to fight for every worker who deserves a raise. People haven't had raises in years in our country. People made more money 20 years ago than they're making right now. And right now, they're working 2 jobs. Part of it is Obamacare. It's been a disaster. But now they're older, they're working 2 jobs, and they're making less money. But I'm working harder now, too, so I don't feel so guilty. We're going to have jobs for every community. And dreams have really been, I will tell you, dreams have been ripped out from your hearts. We are going to bring back the American dream again. People are going to start dreaming, and we're going to have back the American dream. It's coming back. I'm going to fight for every person in this country who believes government should serve the people, not the donors. I'm going to fight for every patriotic citizen that Hillary Clinton slanders as deplorable and irredeemable. And I'm going, oh, you don't look deplorable to me. You look very good. I think irredeemable is worse, right? Irredeemable means it's like over. Nah, she's a bad person, got a bad heart. I'm going to be a president for all of our citizens, all of our citizens. I'm going to fight to bring us together as Americans. We're a very, very divided country right now. We are going to be brought together. Imagine what our country could accomplish if we started working together as one people, under one God, saluting one American flag. One American flag. You're going to look back at this rally for the rest of your life. You're going to remember in 10 years, in 20 years, in 30 years. This is a movement like nobody in this country has ever seen before. We're going to make history together. You're going to look back at this election on November 8th and say it is by far the most important vote that you have ever cast. Once again, we're going to have a government of, by, and for the people. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America powerful again. We will make America strong again. We will make America great again. Thank you all. Thank you very much. God bless you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.